Well, good afternoon. I'm Rick Dancer. Welcome to The Buck Stops Here. And in a second, you're going to understand why the buck really stops here. So this is Amber Bell.
Amber Bell.
Welcome to
Thanks.
the show. We're in her home. And how I found out about you was I'm trying to get insurance. And so I called a company in town who comes to your office and draws your blood and does your whole test. And her name is Jane. Oh, we're getting a low signal. And Jane lives right next door. And Jane says to me, "You have got to meet my neighbor, Amber Bell." So Amber, you've had 66 chemo treatments?
Yes, 66.
So when were you diagnosed and what cancer do you have?
I was diagnosed in July of 2016 with colon cancer, stage 4 colon cancer.
So you've had 2 feet of your colon removed and then a football-sized tumor.
That was on one of my ovaries, and then just recently had the other ovary removed because the chemo had been non-effective.
So you had chemo last week. Is that
Monday.
right? Monday.
Yeah.
So you're on a week off, week on.
Chemo, no chemo, chemo, no chemo.
So this is just your life.
Life, no life, life, no life. That's how it feels.
So the weeks you're off, it's not good.
The weeks I
when
mean,
you're on.
by Saturday I kind of rally and then I'm back to normal. But yeah, it's kind of a week on, week off. Feeling good, not feeling good, feeling good, not feeling good.
So how do you do this? I mean, how do you do life when it's like, that's got to be really hell.
With a lot of help. A lot of help. I have 3 children, 3 girls, and a very supportive husband. But there's not a lot they can do usually besides be helpful, like bring me meals, or I don't know, they try to do little things, but
How do you keep hope?
I think by recognizing I have lived longer than they told me I was going to live. So
How long did they tell you were going to live?
they told me 24 to 28 months.
And how long have you lived?
Oh man, 38 months, 37.
Seriously?
38.
So
Yeah.
what? You're not a marathon runner, are you?
I am.
Are you?
I'm a marathon runner. I used to run all the time. In fact, when I was diagnosed, I had just run a race for cancer research, and I felt really crappy running the race. And I thought, what's wrong with me? Why do I feel so crappy? At least I don't have cancer. I vividly remember having this thought, like, at least I don't have cancer. Look at all these people who I'm, running and raising money for. And then 2 weeks later, I was diagnosed. And so I kind of have made it my goal to keep on running and keep moving forward.
So your plan is the Boston Marathon's in April,
April 20th.
and you're gonna. Do you have to qualify?
No. So normally you have to qualify, but I didn't know until I started looking into it. I have come really close to qualifying, which if you're a runner, close is not quite there.
Close
But,
you have to
close
push
is
yourself
like
harder.
2 minutes close
Right.
or whatever to qualifying time. But there are also charity spots. So you can you fundraise for charity, and then they give you a bib. So that's how I'm getting into the Boston Marathon, the back door.
Are you scared?
No, not really.
So what do you fear now?
What do I fear? I fear my children not remembering things about our life, or remembering only the hard things about our life. That's what I fear.
So do you fear death?
No. I feel like I believe that I will be okay. I believe that I'm going to go back to my maker and be enveloped in her arms, however you approach your belief in a God.
Right.
But I feel like I'm better off, not so much the people that I'm leaving behind. I fear for them.
Right, and that's a real thing when, like with your kids, you don't want them to forget their mom.
Right. Yeah.
That would be horrible.
So I try to I don't know, we keep like a journal, like a back and forth journal. And with my littlest, I don't know, we really tried to just live in the moment and be present.
A friend of mine and I have been talking about this.
Okay.
And I think that we as a culture create this culture that says we want to live in certainty.
Yeah.
And yet we really live in uncertainty.
Yeah, for sure.
So we play like we have certainty, but really nobody does.
No one has a guarantee.
So is that a gift for you?
Yes. In fact, I've blogged kind of through my whole journey, if you call it that, that sounds like it's like The Bachelor or something, like the journey I'm on. But I've blogged, and I really do feel like I've been given a gift. I know that my life is maybe shortened or limited, and so I think I've been given the chance to be very intentional about the things that I do and that we do as a family, and the time we spend. I mean, I'm not perfect at it. I still yell at my kids, and I still stress out over the dishes not being done or things like that. But when I can take a step back and really look at it, I think if this was my last moment or, I don't want to be disappointed in myself.
Right. And, I think there's another thing that you look at stuff and you think, my wife and I were talking the other night going, we just need to go on a vacation with our boys and their girlfriends because we can do it. And we've had several people in our lives pass away recently that are around our age, and we're going. I don't want to get to that point in my life. And for us, I'm a cancer survivor, so you do face the possibility of death. You're facing it much more than I did.
Yeah.
But you face that, and so you can live. I mean, don't you think that? You know what I mean?
For sure. Yeah, you take every day as. You just have to take every day as a new day, but also as a gift that you've been given, that you're alive to see one more thing. Or I do kind of look at not landmarks, what's the right word? I don't know, mileposts in my children's lives, oh, my oldest is in high school now. I made it that far. Oh, can I push? Can I make it to her graduation? Or, my youngest will be in kindergarten next year. So there are definite, I don't know, what do you call them? Well, my chemo brain, mileposts. I don't know. Chemo brain.
Now, is that okay? Now, this is something we should talk about. So, don't you love being able to blame stuff on that?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh my God, I love.
In fact, here's a funny story. One time, when I was first just diagnosed, and my daughter was in middle school, my oldest, and there was a miscommunication. Someone was supposed to come pick her up and take her to school, and they didn't. So she was late to school, and she was very intense about being on time to school. And I said to her, honey, this is where you use the cancer card, and you say, I'm sorry, my mom has cancer. And she kind of laughed a little bit, and I was like, they're not going to be mad at you. It's okay. So I drove her to school with my chemo pump all hooked up and whatever, and we walked in, and it was no big deal. And she got home that night, and she was like, I said, were they mad? And she was like, no, they weren't mad. I told them, that there was a misunderstanding. And she was like, but is there a card? Is there a real card? And I was like, oh, no, honey, it's not. It's just a speech, like a cancer card. And so anyway, we laughed because I made her a little card and it said, my mom has cancer. Just teasing to kind of lighten the mood a little bit.
What a great way to look at life, live in the moment. And Amber is my shero.
Oh, perfect.
So I remember, I mean, mine's a little weirder, but with prostate cancer, one of the effects is that you don't pee as fast.
Yeah, right.
And so I was at the duck game, and I'm standing there, and it took, all the guys are standing up, then they leave. Right. And then the next round comes in, I'm still there, and this drunk guy says, what's wrong, Rick? You got a shy kidney? And I just turned around, and I said, I had prostate cancer. They blasted the hell out of my prostate, and it takes me longer to pee. And the whole room went, uh-oh.
Yeah,
that guy goes, sorry. And I was like, that was kind of fun. So what do you learn that you really think is valuable for people who are not in that? I mean, this is my perfect day. I talked to a woman at the car wash this morning who has MS, and she has no certainty. Yeah. Now I'm talking to you, you have no certainty. And I think people need to be reminded that to live in uncertainty really is to live.
Right.
Because if we plan everything out, you know what
right. You have to let go of control. And I've had to learn that, none of us are really in control of our lives. And you can't, the more you try to force the control, the more it falls apart.
Right.
And so I guess I would say to live in uncertainty is kind of you have to really amp up your hope and your faith, and to say that you're okay. You have to be okay with who you are and what the life circumstances that you have been given to be a part of.
Do you trust more?
That's interesting. Yeah, I probably do.
Because you kind of have to.
Yeah, I kind of have to, because I'm putting my trust in doctors. I'm putting my trust in, I'm putting my trust in my family, that they're going to continue to help the home function. I'm putting my trust in my neighbor, that she's going to pick up my kid from school. I'm putting my trust, and I think you have to be a lot more trusting of yourself.
Right.
And, there's this phrase like, be not faithless, but believing, you know, like if you're going to be a believer, you have to trust and believe that you also have the strength
Right.
to continue forward.
And do you get to a point where you kind of go, it's not a mission, it's my life.
Yeah.
And if I live it well, that's all I have to do. You know what I mean? I feel like when I get to the end of my life, that I hope God just looks at me and goes, you know, I want this on
Well
my
done.
headstone. He tried.
That's so funny. My grandfather has on his headstone, he tried.
Seriously?
Yep. Meant to be. He that's all he wanted on his headstone.
That's what I
was,
want on mine. And
he
I got it
tried.
from a little man and sisters.
And I
he
love
had
it.
that. I think that's the sweetest thing because it's
Yes.
like, I can't tell you I did it right.
No,
I
I'm
can't
not
tell you-
perfect.
But
I'm
I
gonna make
tried. I
mistakes.
really tried. And I think, you know, I
Right.
want just God to look at me and go, you really tried.
Yeah, and I don't think that like having cancer or, you know, MS or diabetes or any other physical ailment makes you like that much more. I think it just puts you in a situation where you are more intentional about your trying.
Right.
And I mean, everybody has trials and struggles that they're facing, and their effort you have to just trust that your effort's enough. And you know when it is
Yeah.
and when it's not.
So when you go over the Boston Marathon and you do the finish line and you come over that,
Yeah.
what do you suspect?
Oh, I don't know. I think it to me it shows like a power over my body. Like I run this body. This is my body that I'm in charge of. There's actually like a hashtag of a famous runner, and it's I run this body, and that's her whole thing is you're in charge of your body and I'm in charge of my mind. Like running is a very mental exercise too. For me, it's almost like a therapeutic meditation. Sometimes I'm pushing a stroller with a 50-pound toddler, and sometimes I'm hauling the dog, you know, but it's just my time almost to like commune with the Lord and to be at peace with my body. And I think it helps flush out toxins and whatever else. But I think when I cross that line, it will just be kind of my way of saying like, forget about you, cancer. Like I did this and you still might be in my body, but I can overcome.
Yeah.
So.
Gosh, this has
Anyway.
been so fun.
Yeah.
So you guys, we want to thank Lisa and Scott Weld. They own Buck Sanitary Service. And we came up with this idea to do the buck stops here so we could do stories like this where, you know, the buck really stops with us. You can't blame other people. You can't make it, you know, the government's not going to save you.
Nope.
Nobody's going to save us. The buck stops with people like Jane next door who helps you.
Yep.
Your family, your kids, people like you guys saying nice things to her. That's the buck, you know? And it really does. That's part of being a community. So thank you for letting me come and barge into your house. She had
Anytime.
chemo treatment on Monday.
Yep.
And now we're here with her on Thursday. So that's pretty brave. And you're not feeling 100%, but nobody out there could tell because you look beautiful and you're really...
Put on your glasses and it hides a lot.
yeah, that's why I wear a beard.
That's
You know,
right.
just cover that
I
thing
know.
up. If I could grow hair up here so I could cover up those wrinkles.
wrinkles,
They
I
used to
know,
always tell
right?
me in the TV business, Rick, you know, you're too expressive. You're getting these deep crevices. Now
I know.
I've got the
I'm
Grand
right there
Canyon
with
up there. All right, you guys, so share this on your page because you never know when somebody's going through something hard, and this may inspire them and help them. And don't ever let anybody tell you can't do something because we've had two today. We had Allie, who's going to run a marathon, and now we've got Amber, who's also going to run a marathon, and they got everything stacking up this way. It makes it look kind of easy for the rest of us. So thanks.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, see you guys later. What's the next thing? Tomorrow, we're going to be at Northwest Burgers. They're moving into a new location at the Fifth Street Public Market. It's not ready yet, but Garrett and Felicia are going to show us around, so that'll be really fun. All right, share this on your page. All right, thanks. And thanks, Scott and Lisa. We appreciate it.